This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. It's the 55th episode of the MFer Podcast. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here to share the magic with me. It means a lot. It means a whole lot. Just as a reminder, this show is also streaming on Rumble as well as X. You know how I feel about X. Big X guy here. Huge, even though my engagement is garbage. But you can go over to X and you can follow me and you can help that terrible engagement that I've got over there. Get a few bangers. Been memeing the hell out of James Lindsay. Oh, my word. That guy will not shut up about the woke right. I just have to meme the guy because it's so annoying. It's insufferable. The guy is like a parrot. It's like a record that's just skipping and just going over and over. Does anyone know what that is anymore? Probably. I got a lot of booms in the audience. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome. I hope you had a great weekend, a wonderful week. I did. It was magical. Actually, relatively uneventful. Pretty chill. Been staying home, mostly. Outside of, obligations that take me outside the home. But chilling, working on a sketch. Should be out soon-ish, end of the week, hopefully. I don't know. I don't want to make any predictions. I don't like when I make predictions and then I don't follow through and I feel like a liar, like a fraud, like a failure. So just keep an eye out for new stuff that's coming out. Hello, Sentient Dildo. How you doing, buddy? God, my mouse is all messed up. What's up, baguettes? That guy is a culinary enthusiast, okay? He likes baked goods. What can I tell you? This is the future, and then cut to a sad sack that is Matt and will never not be funny. I feel like that. The comedy of that, the humor of that, is at my expense, and I don't really care for that. Sad sack? That's a little strong, don't you feel? God, this mouse. Something is wrong with my mouse. It won't click properly. It's really irritating. I don't know what happened. I just noticed it right before I went live, so there was no time for me to change it. That's going to drive me crazy for this entire stream. Well, anyway, it's been a kind of a eventful few days. A lot of big stories. I have one story that I'd really like to talk about, but I'm going to get there because it has to do with this very platform and social media in general. But we'll bury that, because I don't know what it is about YouTube, but the first few minutes matter to them so much. Then you can say more or less whatever you want, but in those first few minutes, if you curse, you break the narrative. No good. Maybe they know because most people don't stick around beyond that. I'm sure I don't know why. I can't get inside the heads of those people, but That's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the algorithm unfurls, as it were. Just busting my sack. Thanks, Sentient Dildo. Low Spec. Hello. Good to see you, sir. Does this apply to the chat? I cannot control what's been said in the chat. It's got nothing to do with me. Hi, Big Ship. I can control what I put on the screen, which, Sentient Dildo's second comment, I won't put up there. Oh, I didn't see Big Ship, late and gay. This time I will confess I was quite late. I do apologize. I got jumbled there towards the end, but I figured, just get the show off properly. Don't rush it. So thanks for being here, y'all. Thanks for being here. So, a few of the big stories everyone's talking about. And I'll weigh in on some of them. I mean, I don't have all that much to add, but it's kind of hard to not cover them as they are like the biggest stories going right now. So let me see here. I'm going to share this story in the background here. There we go. Righto. Okay, so I don't know if you heard, but some wild vigilante went and shot some CEO. A lot of speculation about it, a lot of observations, people weighing their 2 cents. Oh, he was definitely professional because he used a silencer or a suppressor, and he knew how to physically cycle the rounds. That's someone who's had a lot of training. Oh, the way he stands, so on and so forth. Well, guy executes a health insurance CEO. Kind of a lot more support for brazen murder than you'd expect. There were a lot of people being like rah rah. I don't really know how to feel about the whole situation. I think like why aren't you in Vid's chats, Matthew Trader? I'm a lurker, bruh. I'm a lurker, dude. I love Vidge, man. Vidge is my homie. I wish I could do this show every week with Vidge, but alas. Hold on. Go. Oh, I thought that was a Jaguar ad. Like, oh, that would have ruled. But no. Where was I? What was I saying? Okay, so the whole thing with this CEO guy, I don't really know how to feel about it. I definitely do not think the new precedent should be we execute people we don't like or do bad business practices. I'm just going to state that for the record. I know that's crazy. I know that's a lot. That's a wild take. But I feel like that sets a bad precedent. Because immediately you start seeing the memes of Elon Musk with the same situation. You're like, exactly. I mean, then it just becomes people you don't like, people you disagree with. We can't have mass murder of Sentient Dildo disagrees. Well, because of the reasons I just laid out. Also, it's there's a court of law for a reason. Now, granted, it's kind of not a great system at times, and a lot of people skate through, and certainly people with power and influence, and I understand that. But I think the concept is important. I don't think we need to go all full French Revolution on the nation. But I understand the sentiment. I do. Hello, Courtney. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Cotton Ministries, what up? What's cracking, my dude? Yes, I know. I understand. But the concept of the court is important. We can't just have vigilante justice whenever it suits us, because that means that that, like I said, the next thing is Elon Musk goes, or it'll be, Trump, or, just someone who supported a conservative politician. And well, he's got to go because he's bad for the country. We can't just start executing powerful people because we don't like them or they do bad things. We need to, I understand how retarded what I'm saying sounds. I get it. You're just kind of like, oh, the most powerful and influential people in the world will just let the courts take care of it. Sure. I'm sure that'll work. Okay, fine. Fair point. But still can't just have brazen, executions. Even in the Wild West, there was sheriffs and stuff. There was some semblance of law, marshals that, ruled over giant counties and thing. We need to change the entire legal system. I would argue, yes, yeah, that I'm sure a lot of reform can be done. A lot of overhaul is necessary. There's a lot of things that are flawed, but I still don't think you should just be executing CEOs you don't like. But I get it. I understand, and apparently so they may have found this guy. Luigi Mangione, ex-Ivy League student. Was a young kid, 26. He's a tech whiz. He hated the medical community because of how it treated his sick relative, sources say. So I guess he had a grudge, as the narrative goes. He had a grudge with the CEO of this particular health insurance company and decided to do something about it. And do something he did. Censorship said maybe we should make them more afraid of the peasants. Look, there's lots to be learned from this particular situation. You know, I don't think it's cut and dry or black and white. I sure don't. Hello, Ace. Good to see you, buddy. It's like political violence. It sucks all around. Yeah, because it ultimately will continue. It's not like you can't leave the mob to always make the right choice, right? I mean, they're not always going to have the best, not going to always be the most judicious, right? So, you know, we still have to kind of honor law and order. But I understand. I understand the sentiment because, you know, guys like this probably would be able to operate with impunity and harm people, and there'd be no repercussions whatsoever. Hope, you know, maybe subtle shifts in policy and stuff like that. But yeah, I do understand the sentiment. However, I don't know about this story, man. Something seems off. Something about this whole story seems off. I mean, I've heard testimony on murder. I've read true life, true crime murders and such like that. I generally don't feel like your first murder goes off like a sniper. You know? Like, it doesn't say anything about military training in this guy's bio. But he calmly knew exactly where his target was going to be, waited, shot the guy, like double tap, checks, takes off. Like, kept the casings on a suppressed weapon with apparently, you know, potentially subsonic, ammunition, and then just fucked off into the sunset. Are you buying that? I'm not buying it. I think, Courtney's saying, God damn it, mouse. Oh, fuck. This particular health insurance company is my new insurance starting in January. They better not be so bad as for a dude to want to do this. I feel you. Spidey senses tingling. Yeah. It's a little too tighty, don't you feel? And then you see like his Twitter page, and it's kind of everything you'd think the guy would think. And we got the guy pretty fast, you know, got him in custody pretty quick. I don't know. Look, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe I'm just being, skeptical of everything I read. There's just something about this. It just feels like this feels more like corporate espionage, or, you know, someone was hired. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think about the whole thing, but I just feel like it's a little tighty. It's like, oh, and he had the weapon on him. You didn't get rid of the murder weapon? Why? What was your next move? To have a shootout with the cops? Like, what are you doing? Obviously, get rid of that. And he was in where? Like Ohio or something? He was like halfway across the country from New York City. So you could have like dumped pieces of that weapon all along your journey out there. You know, in different trashes and stuff like that. The odds of ever putting the gun back together would be, you know, next to nothing. And you don't have the gun on you. You also could have shaved those eyebrows. Boy, those are distinct eyebrows. You could have plucked them, you know. I mean, those really are a dead giveaway. Those are some wild, wild eyebrows that guy has. And then didn't he have like fake IDs on him and stuff? I mean, he had like so much evidence. It's just suspicious. I don't know. You know, it very well may be exactly as reported. This guy had a relative that, you know, died or got sick or something like that, had something to do with that, and he was, you know, sought vengeance, and it's possible. It seems unlikely, you know. The guy's already doing well in life. I mean, you know, maybe you lose somebody, it makes you snap. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like thinking about all the details. I'm like, really? Really fits into place, don't you feel? Kind of just click, clack, click. Yep, that's what happened. All right, we got him. Really? It's just that's what happened? He had the gun on him and everything? You know? Dead to rights. I don't know. Look, like I said, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe there's no reason to look into this any deeper, but it just feels a little too tighty for me. Let me see. Censorship, you saw Shapiro try to link people who cheered this to Hamas supporters? We were howling on vidges last night. No, that's funny. That's great. No, I like that. I mean, it's probably not that much of a leap, but they're unrelated. I mean, I'd say there were memes on Reddit going around about, how like good, like, yeah, like there was like the Spider-Man meme, careful, he's a hero, and everyone's carrying him along, but it's the guy in the left is really rah-rah about this guy. So, and they're also rah-rah about Hamas. They are the same crowd, but this one feels a little different because it's hard to like feel like, with the exception of the guy being a human being, it's hard to feel like super bad if like your policies and like your company did cause the deaths of lots of people, and it's an evil corporation, so to speak. It's kind of hard to feel super bad about it. But then it's starting to feel like the way the left does like the landlord thing, where it's like landlords are bad across the board, just landlords are bad. It's like CEOs are bad. It's like I don't. It's our billionaires are bad. I don't like those blanket statements, those generalizations about people. It's just like, it just feels very politically motivated and kind of corny. I wouldn't. I don't know. Such a dildo says, newsflash, the right was also cheering. I didn't see much cheering from the right. I guess most of my lens into what the right is up to is via Twitter, or X or whatever. And I saw a lot of people trying to find the guy. I didn't see a whole lot of the right being like rah rah. I feel like the left was way happier about it. It's a weird one. Like I said, it's a weird one. I don't think it should be like a new precedent, but I know the impulse, like that the elite should fear the peasants. I think that's true too. I don't know. It's a strange one. I guess I'm reserving judgment until everything is kind of on the table, because I don't feel strongly in particular in any direction. I feel like, probably shouldn't kill CEOs. But if someone denied care for my mother and she died, I probably wouldn't have any qualms killing the CEO who made that happen. You know what I mean? So, and then like these bureaucracies are so massive and there's so little like penetration. You can't get through to them, and they have like these policies. I mean, I remember like when my mom, this wasn't even insurance company related, but my mom was getting cancer treatment years ago, and we went to Sloan Kettering, I think. It's like a really good cancer hospital in New York City, and she had to get treatment, and like the window with which she had to get treatment, it wasn't like an appointment. It was like an appointment window, and it was like, get there at 2, maybe by 5 we'll see you. It's like, you can't text me. I'd have to sit in this fucking office for the next 3, maybe more hours. There's no better way to communicate with your patients. Like, seems a little one-sided. Like, especially in the modern era, it's like, just fucking text me, Like, if they can handle it at a restaurant, right? If I can put my name down in a restaurant and they can text me when it's ready, why can't a doctor do that? It annoyed me. I was like, so we're just supposed to just sit here because, like, the doctor fucking says so? I don't know. You don't follow any right wing on Twitter. Do you even follow me, Sentient Dildo? Are you under like a clandestine? My meme game is fire, let me tell you. Ooh, boy, howdy. No, I'm just kidding. But I didn't even know you're on. I'm surprised to learn you're on social media. That doesn't seem like you. I feel like you'd like lurk without a profile or something, just collecting data for your evil schemes. I can understand the sentiment, Like I said, if it was subjective, if it was me and someone did that to like someone I loved, I could see that, I could see. I don't feel like my mom would be like, hey, yeah, you should totally go to prison for the rest of your life for the sake of me. But I could totally understand. Oh, I doubt you follow any right wing on Twitter. Who are you, like my friend who's like, those aren't real leftists? Are you one of those guys? Like, those aren't real right-wingers? I follow... That's like all I follow, I guess. I don't know. I feel like Twitter kind of is like almost a right-wing platform at this point, where it's almost like whether you want to or not, you just see a feed of right-wing information. I don't know. I'm talking about... yeah, you're not on social media. Yeah, okay. Courtney, I am unfortunately ruled by the healthcare system. I don't think it'll ever be affordable in my eyes. If you have a rare illness, nothing is affordable with healthcare. No, it's true. It's not a good system. It's really not a good system. And I think one of the things that I understand that Trump wants to do is allow competition across state lines with insurance companies. That's one of the biggest issues. And I think that's the thing. I feel like there's got to be a free market solution to all these things. Like the insulin problem, right? Where it's you can't get insulin for, a reasonable price. Because you can't compete with international companies. You can only do with big pharma companies. So it's kind of like a government enforced cartel a little bit. I just feel like there's got to be a competition-based solution for all these issues. And they are serious. They're genuinely serious issues. I mean, it's not okay that healthcare is unaffordable. I can understand it costing money, much the way car insurance costs money or rent costs money. I don't think it should be free necessarily, because it's there's healthcare workers that need to get paid, and medical tech that needs to get innovated, and some prescription drugs and stuff. That doesn't fall out of the sky. People make that and should be compensated for their efforts. But I mean, medical insurance is so expensive, even for the worst programs. I don't have medical insurance. I probably should, but I don't. And it's it's so unbelievably pricey to have just even the worst plan, and it doesn't cover anything. So it's not a good system. I am not pro America's healthcare. I'm not it works. I don't think it works, but since it's not subjective, since a family member of mine was not harmed by this particular insurance company, it's kind of hard for me to be that guy's a hero. Plus, I'm just suspicious of the entire narrative. But I like to see how it all pans out. I'm curious. Maybe I'm being too reserved here, but I just think it's the right move, because it does. If something strikes me odd with this whole story, the whole thing seems fishy. My first thought when I saw that was it was a corporate hit, or something like that, something political, some kind of political opponent. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm probably not the best person to be talking about this particular subject, but it's one of the biggest stories of the day, so I had to talk about it. There is, but not until it hits generic, unless you want to put laws into place stopping Big Pharma from lobbying both sides of the aisle. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. It's a tough one. I don't. When people say that, it's they shouldn't be able to lobby. It's well, should you be able to lobby? It's yes. It's well, why can't they? I don't think it's a good system, and I think our politicians are cowards and weaklings for the most part. I'm really optimistic about this administration that's moving in, but yeah, no, they're pussies, and they harm the American people for financial gain all the time. I think that's gay, but it's democracy, man. It's certainly not perfect, We got to be able to petition. I need to be able to petition the government. You need to be able to petition the government. You need to be able to participate in government in order to, speak your mind, have your voice out there. So it's a tough one to say, no, legally you cannot lobby. It's just, I don't really know what the solution, but that's why I'm just kind of well, if we limit the amount government can even get involved, then there is no problem. Then there's nothing for them to lobby, right? If they can't be, if it's got nothing to do with us, I don't know, figure it out in the free market. Don't break any laws, provide a better product. What do you want from us? We're just, we just make roads and build armies. The rest is up to you. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that's probably a better solution, but I don't know. It's so funny. It's the older you get, the more you learn about things, the more you realize you don't know anything. Courtney, I know that Medicare is something I worked to pay into my whole life, and I have the most ridiculous co-pays, more than I ever had. Yeah, Medicare sucks. Medicare's a terrible system. We spend more on Medicare than we do on the military, and it's just waste, bureaucracy, bloat, bullshit. It sucks. My mom's going on Medicare, and she is not thrilled. Not thrilled. Ace, I think a targeted murder is unsettling, even if this isn't part of a bigger plot. Yeah. Like I said, we can't just start having vigilante justice, Where's it stop? Where's it stop? What if you get it wrong? What if it wasn't that guy and you just killed an innocent dude because he looked like the CEO you thought it was? I know we're all kind of being hyperbolic here, but we can't have this system. Can't be executing people just because you don't like what they did. Best thing about it is that shooter's name is Luigi. Oh, that's what the Luigi memes. Got it. I saw a tweet about that, and I was like, why are the Luigi memes going to be fire? It's like, yes. Don't have billions of dollars. I don't have billions of spare dollars to exchange for serious influence. No, look, I'm not arguing. I'm not being like, hey, respect your betters. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's like free speech, right? I need to be able to have it so that you can have it so that other people can have it, right? It's like if you don't like what they're doing with their free speech, understandable, but that's the price of you having that right. So that's what I'm talking about with lobbying, right? It's like I can lobby the government. I can go do that. Obviously, I won't be paid handsomely to do it like the big pharma lobbyists, but just simply being a lobbyist is just talking to the government. It's the government that shouldn't even be allowed to intervene on these things, which I think is the problem, which maybe is one of those kind of like idealistic points of view or solutions. But I do think that that's really more. How's that going, Matt, petitioning your government? We got the God Emperor in, okay? I feel pretty good about it, bud. We got the most like anti-government cabinet in like the history since like the fucking founding fathers. You know what I mean? We got Vivek and fucking Elon and Ron Paul's being talked about and all this stuff. And a lot of people who are like, we're going to gut this power. You're not going to be able to do all the bullshit. Hello, Zach. It's good to see you. I think I saw the lovely Sherry dropping in too. Yes. Hello, lovely Sherry. Good to see you. Look, I don't think even Trump, I don't think Trump has a magic wand, but it's the most optimistic I've ever been for a candidate, and I feel like it's got a lot of, inshallah, it's got a lot of potential, to truly get rid of some of this institutional power, at least for a while. Boy, I was watching a disturbing podcast earlier. Everything we're talking about is why I'm unaffiliated. I don't trust or have faith in Big G whatsoever. Yeah, Big G's always going to fuck everything up, man. They stink. They blow. All right, is there anything else on this Luigi fella? Like I said, I don't know. He hails from a wealthy, well-known Maryland family. That's also why it's fishy to me. Some kid with money and influence is just going to throw that all away. What's this, his Batman story? I don't know. It just doesn't read correct to me. UPenn prep school valedictorian? Is he from Jersey? Oh, shoot. It just seems, it's too tidy. I'm not buying it. I don't know. Something feels very off about this whole story. It's just like, it seems like he had a lot to lose. Maybe he just snapped. I don't know. And it just says family member. I don't think they've gotten into, like, which family member he lost. It just seems very suspicious to me. It's it just hated the medical community because of how it treated a sick relative. That's all it says, a sick relative. He must have really loved that sick relative in order for him to, like, go kill a guy and basically throw away the rest of his life. He's 26. 26, 13 years younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a young man. He had a lot of time left. Probably not now. Now he's just spend the rest of his time in jail. So, I don't know. Just seems fishy. I don't know. What do we say? No. Just some epic eyebrows. Indeed, those are epic eyebrows. Ace, Luigi thinks he's so rich he thinks he's untouchable, thinks he's so smart he can get away with anything. I guess that's possible. It's possible, but it doesn't seem like he had a very good plan. He was hanging out in a McDonald's trying to use their public Wi-Fi. It's not like he mapped out his escape, right? What did he think was going to happen? I don't know. Hello, Jake Diesel. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. That's probably because it's all bullshit. That's kind of how I feel. Maplewood, shit's that close to Englewood. Englewood, always up to no good. I know all about it. Know all about it, brother. Know all about it. All right, moving on. like I said, I don't know. I'll keep tabs on that story. Maybe I'll talk about it again. I don't know. I'm suspicious about that particular story. The other one is Daniel Perry. Is that his name? Perry? Yes. Penny. Did I write that correct? I wrote Perry because I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a stupid asshole. I wrote Perry like a dummy. Let me correct that and mitigate my embarrassment. So the guy, Daniel Penny, who did not kill anybody at all in any way whatsoever. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess I can't edit while we're live. Oh, well, I'll just have to look like a fool. Matt, not minutes. Well, you're almost 40. Oh, almost 40. Oh, I see. Yes, I know. I'm going to be 40 in May. Not awesome. Not in love with that reality. But that is the truth. 2025. Yikesy. All right. Oh, you're from Englewood. Word. I don't actually know where Englewood is. I mean, there's so many towns in New Jersey. I imagine that's central Jersey. It sounds like one of those towns that's like in the woods. There's lots of those towns in central Jersey that are very wooded. I feel like it's one of those. I don't know. Jake D with a member super chat for 33 months. Damn. That's a wow, brother. That's almost 3 years. Holy shit. The MFer Podcast apparently still brought to you by Jake Diesel. Indeed. You and Man of War, and that might be it. Maybe Office Girl. Well, I appreciate you very much. Appreciate you. Northern Jersey. Oh, by the George Washington Bridge. Oh, okay. Right on. Okay. Sick. Yeah, there's so many little townships. So many little townships in New Jersey. All right. So, Daniel Penny, not Perry, found not guilty in the not murder of this guy. Absolute travesty this ever went to trial. I think we all know that. That he was even arrested is repulsive. This guy didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to choose my words because I'm on the air. But I have strong disdain for the homeless population. I don't like them. Like a lot. And I will back that up. But first, Eric K. Hello, sir. Back from the dead, my guy. What's good? How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Glad to hear you survived your current encounter with Mother Nature. Way to go. And $2. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Oh! Who is this guy? Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated, my dude. Much appreciated. Good to see you. The great Eric K. The mighty wrench. The mensch wrench himself. Eric K. What's cracking? What is cracking? Oh, see, Sanjay, this is why you got to get on social media, get up to the date on the news, brother. But it's comments like that make me feel like, oh, just because everyone's talking about it doesn't mean literally everyone knows. It's just kind of all over. Anyway, yeah, so this guy got acquitted, charges dropped, the whole thing. And it should have never, ever, ever happened. I mean, there was evidence they collected on the day. Like the interesting fact that the guy was still alive when the paramedics got there. So he didn't choke him to death. Much like George Floyd, he was not killed by that other man. This was a drug-related death, as was the George Floyd one. Big time, as proven by the coroner. Yet, that guy's still in jail. Derek Chauvin, still in prison. But luckily, Daniel Penny skated on this one. And, of course, he should have. And then everyone was like, there's a lot of people are happy. Obviously, he's out free. I'd be fucking thrilled. Oh, right. The whole reason I was going to talk about. Yeah, he died in the hospital from a drug overdose. He'd been arrested like 40 times. He was 30. You know what I mean? Like some of them were really bad. One was kidnapping. I mean, I didn't read. Okay, I read this on Twitter. I did not do any follow-up research on the sources. So, allegedly, because I don't know for sure. One was kidnapping like a 7-year-old. 2 were like punching old ladies. I mean, the guy's a scumbag. You know what I mean? He's a low-life dirtbag. And I used to live in New York. You'd see these guys all the time on the subway. Just non-contributing like demons, I saw them in LA and just setting up in these encampments. And of course, they're here in Austin too. I used to work on a bar on 6th Street, which if you don't know is a stretch of like 50 bars, just all bars on either side of the street. And I'd get there during the day to set up the bar. And this is like, that's when I'd encounter these bums. And every single day, these like stinking, crazy, often naked, drugged out, lunatic zombies. They're like, hey, give me money. It's just like, I really created, like, I hated them. I started snapping at them at times. Like, no, I don't. I'm going to work. Leave me alone. Like, I used to really be not cool. When I was like young and like a liberal, I was like always like, oh yeah, man, you need money, and it's just like, no, I don't have any sympathy. So even if Daniel Penny did kill this guy, I'd be like, I don't care. That guy was a scumbag. He was like tormenting people on the subway, saying he was going to kill people. I was on the subway one time and this crazy homeless guy just started freaking out, losing his mind. And he was a giant man. He looked like Black Hagrid. Huge dreads, all gross. Started screaming at me, said something racial to me, like this white motherfucker here or something like that. And then he threw papers all around. And I had my leg, my foot like kind of like over my left knee, And then like when he picked up his papers, he like knocked my foot up and off, right? And I almost snapped. But I looked around, and there was no one that could have possibly helped me. There was like an old man, like an Asian woman. I was alone. I was completely alone. If shit went down, it's just me. There's no backup. And I just let it go, and then nothing happened. The crazy man just... But like, very easily could have... he did touch me. He'd made physical contact. And it's just like, I don't think we should have to suffer these people at all. It's not my fault that they're nuts or drug addicted or both. I don't give a shit. I just don't, because I don't really see the innocence. I don't really see the down on your luck victims of capitalism. I don't see it. I see monsters, animals, and I'm sorry I don't have sympathy for them, but I just don't. And I don't care. And the idea that there's some racial narrative here is absurd. We obviously all know that. But these guys are they're demons. They're like little imp monsters you have to deal with. You got to bob and weave around while you're just trying to go to work and be a productive member of society. And we're all supposed to like subsidize these guys' lives. I mean, like when I first moved to Austin, there's a street out here called Riverside. And, there's each way. And in the middle is like a grass, like median, And it was, when I moved here in 2021, packed with homeless people, trash, tents. I was like, why did I move to Texas? I had all that in California. I could have just kept that. That was fine. And luckily, about 6 months later, they passed a like no public camping law, which we know what that is. But so they got rid of them, cleaned up the trash, and they're not there really, except they're always around, but it isn't like flooded with the people. But you'd look at the encampment, and it's like there's porta potties, there's running water. I heard in LA, in San Francisco, they have Wi-Fi. You're subsidizing their lives. What the fuck? Why? If for no other reason, if they were just wonderful, industrious people, it's an eyesore. It's disgusting. It's trash. It's filth. Just piled up in your city, your very expensive city, by the way. Progressive cities are extremely expensive. So I'm paying extra money so that we can subsidize these dirtbags' lives. So what if I just don't feel like I want to go to work and I just want to get drunk all day? Where's my money? Do I get to do that? Do I have that like entitlement? Like it's insane. Like it's crazy the way people in this country deal with homelessness. Sentient Dildo, shout out. You recommended a book called San Francisco, and I highly recommend that. I think it's a great read. Michael Schellenberger, about why homelessness is so ubiquitous in these progressive cities, why no matter what they do, doesn't seem to get better, and why you're racist if you have a problem with it. Kind of kidding, not really kidding. But I just don't have any sympathy. I knew exactly what this was the second I heard the story. I was like, oh yeah, some rampaging bum, bothering everyone on the subway. And this guy stepped in and did what, no one else would do. And God bless him. He's a fucking hero, man. I'm glad. I hate them. I don't like them. They're gross. They stink. They're monsters. Dangerous. Good for Daniel Penny. He's a good guy. It's Eric K. making it rain on me, baby. Let's go. For $5. Remember what I've always told you. Do not pay attention to the idiots screaming on the corner. No, you just keep walking. They do not matter. No, I agree. I completely concur. I know you certainly don't engage with their ideas. The thing is, I'm just going to work, man. And you see me every day, you dirty bum. It's the same guy. Yep, it's 3 o'clock again. It's me again. I'm going to the same bar. Same time of day. I'm obviously not a tourist. Leave me the fuck alone. I hate it. I hate them. Hate them. Sorry. Maybe that's harsh. Maybe I should walk a mile in their dilapidated shoes. I don't know. I just fucking monsters. Monsters. Thank you, Eric K. You're the fucking man, brother. Thank you very much. He's Mr. Freeze. You turning? You coming to the good guy side? You joining the winning team, my friend? Leftist policies cause the problems they claim to fix seems to be clear. Yeah, it's true. It's very true, you know. And the worst, I think the worst part about the left is not necessarily even their policies or what they think or what they do. I really don't, because I think not all of it, but I think a lot of it does come out of a genuine desire to do good and to show compassion. I believe that. But when it doesn't work, you know, when it continues to fail and fall on its face time and time again, and you don't adapt, that's when I really lose, patience. It's where I really start to get frustrated. It's just like, okay, it's not working. Well, no, it's because Trump, white supremacy. Like, no, dude, it's not. It has nothing to do with it. You know that. Your policies are not helping these people. Stop doing what you're doing. It's fucking crazy. Like, when you have, like, liberals in, like, San Francisco and Oakland moving right-wing a little bit because of how bad the left have fucked up those cities, you know you've made some mistakes. You have really fucked up if the San Francisco Bay Area liberals are moving conservative. Boy, oh boy. And the thing is, that's the thing about these people. They don't really know when to stop. They could have had all their trans awareness day, blah, blah nonsense if they stayed away from the kids. They could have all their gay over, social endowments and social programs and blah, blah, blah. If they just didn't have to have bums all over the street. If they knew where to stop, they could still be in power. It's like the whole like feminist thing and representation is just like, if you just left my hobbies alone, you probably could have had politics for the next however long you wanted it. But you couldn't let it go, huh? You couldn't. You had to come fuck with Star Wars. You had to come fuck with every video game. You had to make movies gay. You had to do it, right? You couldn't stop yourself. You could not help yourself. Well, guess what? You just radicalized like millions of people who would have never given a shit. They wouldn't have cared. Or they would have passively cared. But now watching a movie is a political action. That's not how it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to watch like the Terminal List or whatever, as a political action. I'm supposed to watch something that I like. And that's what everyone else is supposed to do. But you people have made it so unbelievably polarized that everything is a political action now. It's like, all right, well, I don't agree with your politics. So, bring on Daddy Trump. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you just left us alone, just left Warhammer alone, left D&D alone, would have been fine. We would be like, what's going on? We wouldn't even have noticed. Yeah, well, you done fucked up, didn't you? You done fucked up, didn't you? Oh, wait. I said you dildo. What are you saying? Considering how Matt feels about the Browns, like the Cleveland football team, DEI is in his favorite shows was a step too far. I will not accept that gross mischaracterization. You know I love The Expanse from the jump. Lot of Browns, also gays. Come on, they're everywhere in that show. That was never the problem. It's all the messaging, all the narrative stuff. Tried to slip in there, didn't you? Okay. God. So that's... All right, let's... I've ranted about Daniel Penny and homelessness for a little while. I want to talk more about content. I do. Okay, so... How to begin? How to begin my dissertation on the landscape of streaming content. All right. Just look at what you guys are saying real quick. Ascension Dildo. Ascension Dildo, you're salty today, brother. Right on. Got to save your sympathy for corrupt big pharma execs, Matt. All right. You know what? You got me there. That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. Fair. But at least that guy's not bugging me on the street, you know? He may deny me coverage for my surgery, but he's not bugging me when I'm walking to work. Is he? Is he now? Okay. All right. So this is something that, like, Eric K. again? Come on. Come on. You flatter me, brother. You flatter me. Matt supports trans rights. After all, he identified it as a table. I am very furniture fluid. I identified for a table for that afternoon, but sometimes I feel like a lamp. I move. I evolve, It's not a binary, Eric, okay? It's not a binary. It's not a binary. It's a matrix of a million different points that I pick at random. You better respect that. That's another example of shit that they just went way too far with. There's 72 genders. All right, you lost everybody. You lost everybody. Most people were pretty cool with just being like, all right, he wants us to call him she. Fucking whatever. Fine. Okay, you're Mrs. Johnson. Whatever. No one gave a shit. I had a trans teacher in college. I had a trans teacher and a midget in the same semester. I mean, come on. What are you doing? I just got out of high school. Give me a break. This is tough. This is tricky. Luckily I was a big lib gay boy. So I was very accepting. But, whatever. It was weird at first. You're like, what's going on? But then you get over it. Whatever. She wasn't bugging me with trans ideology. She was teaching me history. It didn't have to, and then you don't think about it, But it's all the other shit. It's all the other stuff that comes with it. So at the end of the day, we're like, nah, we're actually good on all this stuff. No, never mind. 2 genders, go fuck yourself. You blew it. I did, Big Ship. I did. And it were very interesting people. Like the trans woman was very, kind of like a critical theorist. She's a good educator, but she was talking about like how actually like Carnegie wasn't really a good dude, even though he's a philanthropist at the end of his life. And it's kind of like a critical approach to history, which is fine. The midget was super like religious conservative. Like this was right around the time when all the Catholic Church scandal was popping off. And he was like, it's actually not that many priests. And it was just kind of like, whoa, weird flex, dude. That was like a weird position to take, like at the peak of it. He's like, it's all, misinformation. I was like, bro, it might be, man, but you gotta chill with that, dude. That's a intense take to just launch at us like unprompted with, it was like, whoa. Okay, man. So that was a weird semester at Morris Community College, where I started my collegiate career. I started my foray into intellectual spaces, where I was getting indoctrinated by the woke. Ugh. All right. Anyway, what? I don't know what those words are, Cotton. Oh, I get it. I understand. I had. Big Ship. You're clever. Pretty funny. And God made the dude a midget. It's funny, right? I kind of forgot about that till right now, but that's hilarious. I was like 19, dude. Like, that's too much to throw at me. We actually were all pretty respectful. We didn't somehow, with all the propaganda we had been receiving, from the deep white supremacist hateful nation that we all grew up in, before the leftists took over and taught us really how to think. We all didn't, beat them and throw them on the fire. It's amazing. Well, thank God. Close, because the next time it sure would have. Unbelievable. Eric K., he was not a good dude. He just laid it all on Frick for... You guys must be talking about something else. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so, speaking of her hobbies, speaking of them going too far, I was browsing, articles today. I was on IndieWire. I just go there every once in a while just to check it out. Sometimes they have good stuff. Not always, but sometimes. And I saw this, the Lord of the Rings animated show and the War of the Rohirrim, a dull cheap. And they say, they're not actually praising it, so, props to them if they're actually saying it sucks. But it says, a dull, cheap-looking anime prequel goes back to Middle-earth. Okay, so you read that and you're kind of like, it stinks. And I didn't really have any high hopes for it at all, But that is exactly what I wanted to talk about. And I find that almost worse than watching something and finding out that it's gay and woke, put a chick in it, make her gay. That is, it's worse that I'm completely apathetic to anything new. I don't care. And I feel just tuned out. There's that new Dune show, Dune Prophecy. I don't know. Haven't watched it. Even shows that I feel completely apathetic to the landscape of streaming content and new movies and new TV. I'm like an old man. I just want things that I already know are good, and I don't really want to investigate new stuff. And that is crazy coming from me because I spent, my entire 20s and a lot of my 30s watching all types of stuff, watching, Scandinavian art films and really abstract, The Brand Upon the Brain, if you've ever seen that with, what is that woman's name? I can't think of it. It's a fucking bizarre movie about this island and orphanage, and it's all abstract. It's Lynchian, but even more opaque. All the David Lynch stuff and TV shows and movies, and I listen to commentaries and read books. That's the shit that I was really invested in. Now I'm just I don't trust any of it. I would need to be so sure or have such good press about something, but that actually to me that was almost a more depressing conclusion. That I'm just not excited or interested about anything. I see Hollywood and I'm oh, what a bunch of creeps. Who cares what those idiots are up to? I don't, it's even in my algorithm on Instagram, I'll see an interview from Matt Damon. I'm who gives a shit? I just don't care. And that's not to say I'm not awash in content. I'm awash in content, right? I spend probably the most time on YouTube. I watch every single thing the Fat Electrician puts out. That guy's brilliant at military history. I absolutely love everything he does. Outstanding work. I cannot recommend it enough. There's a channel called History Buffs, which I really like, where they disseminate the historical accuracy of movies. I watched the one on Chernobyl today. Very good. Very good. There's a lot of stuff out there. But, I sometimes want to sit down and watch a fucking movie. And you know what I watched the past few nights? Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. Now, granted, I enjoy those movies. I do find them to be, if you were to scrutinize them, they're a bit romantic. The prisons, for the most part, seem kind of a cool place to be, and I feel like prison was never like that. So it's romantic a little bit. But for the stories they're telling, I think it's totally fine. And I can't help but find myself caught up in them. So, if you think I got bad taste, it's fine. You could say that. But I like those movies. And, really interesting stuff. Glazed and content. Shut up. Eric K., love History Buffs. I've been meaning to watch the new one. Yeah, it's great. Really good. He's so detailed and thorough. He gets a little spurgy sometimes about stuff, in The Patriot, the movie, the Mel Gibson's The Patriot. He really the British were never like that. They didn't actually do that. It's dude, shut the fuck up. Whatever, man. And then he does one where I think it was with Dances with Wolves, and he dedicated the last 20 minutes or something about the pipeline and how the Native Americans were all pissed off about it, and it's just shut the fuck up. I didn't ask for your political commentary at all. Just tell me about the historical accuracy of this movie or not. But that aside, it's honestly a great channel, and he animates everything, which I really find. I mean, I can't imagine how much work that goes into, and the writing and all the research. It's really, really good. I watched one about Marie Antoinette after that. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, I'm good watching a podcast, Hollywood Blows. Yeah, but that sucks. That sucks. I don't like that. I don't like that we're just like, well, whatever. If there's nothing good, well, I'll watch old movies and fucking YouTubers. Like, that's cool and all. I mean, like, I get it. You know, hey, thank you for y'all being here. But, like, it's just, that's sad, man. That's, like, disappointing, you know? Like, I was thinking about, so, like, I Googled, this fucking blew my mind. So I Googled top movies of 1999. I was like kind of curious. Like it was like some meme post or something I was referencing. I don't remember exactly why I Googled it, but I Googled it. And like the ones that came up, I was like, what? Those aren't the top movies of 1999. Like something's going on with like even the movie algorithm. Like if you see it, it's like The World Is Not Enough, which I think was the Bond movie that ended Pierce Brosnan. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can see these. Like Star Wars Phantom Menace, okay, cool. But like Ride with the Devil, I've never even heard of that movie. Shades, Deep Blue Sea was pretty cool, but The Intruder, you know, Eyes Wide Shut's kind of like a I don't know, like it is what it is, but it's to call it the top movie of the year. Like October Sky, I don't even know. That's like is that a space movie like with rockets? You know, like The Insider, Entrapment, okay, good work. The Devil's Arithmetic, the Animal Farm adaptation. I mean, great and everything, but that's the top. That's a popular movie in 1999. The Trench. I never even heard of this. This was a poorly reviewed television movie, dude. Like Suckers, Twin Falls, Idaho. I guess these are all indies. Okay, Boondock Saints. Like, let's go and go. But like the top grossing movies of 1999 are Star Wars, The Sixth Sense, Toy Story 2, The Matrix, Austin Powers, Blair Witch Project, American Beauty, Fight Club. Like, why did none of those come up? What is that? And I was like, that's weird. And around the same time, like I was looking at like streaming platforms, like I think it was on Amazon, Netflix, HBO. No, not Apple. I think it was just those three. But I was browsing movies. None of those, unless there's a way to do it that I don't know about, or maybe I can only do it on the PC and not my PlayStation, but I was not able to browse any movies like alphabetically. Like it had to be their algorithm. What we think you'd like. And it's like HBO is like the secret life of college, secret sex life of college girls. I'm like, I bet I wouldn't like it. I bet I wouldn't. And I don't think the reason that's in my algorithm is because you think I'd like it. I think it's there because it's a new show you're pushing. And it's just like, you know, if there's a little bit of that, that's fine. But it's just like I open these apps and I'm like, I don't want to watch any of this shit. You know, I just want to kind of go through it, find what. And then it's like you'll scroll through and like, oh, Goodfellas. Like I had to scroll to find Goodfellas. Like that's obviously I'd like that movie. Like why is that not on the top of my algorithm? YouTube knows what I like. I don't have to look that far when I go to YouTube. Somehow when I go to these movie platforms where I watch a lot of movies, it's like I can't even browse the movies. I need to get only your suggestions, your algorithm. Like stop. Like get out of my life. Stop trying to push shit on me. I don't want it. I'm not interested. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being like, you know, like a pampered person. But it just feels like more and more we're just being separated from like the content that we would actually like enjoy. You know, like in movies and television. Like it just feels like somehow like the propaganda machine is like ratcheting up. And it almost feels like it's just like if I'm enjoying it, you know, like if I'm enjoying content, like, well, that's not good, you know. We got to get your mind right. Got to get you educated. I don't know. I don't know if after Trump got elected, they tweaked these algorithms and stuff. I mean, I think the best one's probably still Prime. But even that, like, I still want to be able to browse the movies alphabetically. Just let me look at what's out there. You don't have to, I don't need your organized suggestions and this show and that movie. No, please, just let me look. I got it. I can search through things. I grew up going to Blockbuster, okay? I know how to find movies. Maybe this is not a big deal, but to me, it just felt like It was frustrating. I was like, stop. Just get out of the way. Get out of the way with your algorithms, your recommendations. I don't need it. I'm good. Let me just go look and see what the library is. I'll go through the library, and if there's things I want to watch, I'll watch them. Why is there a middleman in this transaction? I don't understand. If you're making it easy for me, fine. If every time I open that, I'm like, oh, a new thing I'd like to, I haven't seen that movie in a while. But I feel like I got to go find it. Like I gotta go dig through your algorithm. It's like, this is not helpful. So just give me a library organization. I'll go through it. I don't know. Maybe this is just someone who's just like lives in a world where everything's too easy, and you get Uber Eats and you Apple Watch and everything's like and there's no lag on enjoying things. Maybe that's what this is. But I just exactly. Auto previews, fuck out of here. I turned that off the second of who wants that? Why is that helpful? Why? Stop. I don't need to see 6 seconds of them. Stop. Just let me think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just got PTSD from the culture war. I was a culture war soldier deployed deep undercover. I lost a lot of good men out there in that culture war. A lot of them became chicks. I know, said you dildo. But the reason I bring it up is not because I'm like, oh, these things don't function the way I want them to function. I feel like there's some propaganda in here. There's like some kind of like, no, you will watch this. Do not watch the things you actually enjoy. Watch the show about girls, powerful women, and different races. Just like, if it was good, I would. It never occurred to me. That shit never crossed my mind. If a movie looked cool, it looked cool. The best example is like, there's so many examples, but Blade's a great example. But like Will Smith as a actor is a great example. He was like the biggest actor in the world for like 2 decades, and no one was just like, wait a minute, I'm not going to watch a movie with a black fella in it. I only like to see movies with me in it. Never felt that in my life. Never crossed my mind. Never gave a shit ever. Until you made me gave a shit, I don't know. Cotton Ministries. Yeah, I don't see the problem. I find what I like, ignore what I don't. It's fairly easy. It's not easy enough, damn it. I think there's something else going on. I don't think it's just a matter of ease. I think they're trying to stop us from enjoying our things. That's what I think. Maybe maybe this is a crazy take that I just went on for about, I don't know. It just bugged me, man. It just felt like there's something going on with these algorithms. Like, why, when I Google the top movies of 1999, are you showing me this fucking horse shit? Why are you not showing me the top movies of 1999? Why do I need to dig? Just tell me, it's a fucking search engine. Are you not capable of like the one task I'm asking you? Don't push these movies I'm not interested in. Doesn't even matter if I'm interested in. The top movies are the top movies. They're the movies that made the most money that year. Most popular. The biggest franchises with the biggest legacy. Those are the top movies. Just show me that when I fucking Google it. What the hell is this? Hello, listless receptionist. Good to see you. What's cracking? I like your new avatar. I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe this is like literally just first world problems. I'm just entitled, but I just feel like something's going on. I feel like I'm the only one saying it. I'm on to something here, boys and girls. I swear to God, man. I swear to God. I did try a new show. This was a friend recommended it. It's an animated show on Max. Is HBO still a thing? I think HBO's on HBO Max. Let me see if I can play the trailer. I'll admit, there is like some really good. Oh, that's a sponsored link. Okay, I was like, well, I'm about to prove you guys fucking wrong. I'll admit, like the visuals are really something in this show. I think it's really like a unique like visuals on the show, and I tried to like it. But my fucking conservative right-wing brain just like wouldn't let me notice that like all the male characters in this show are like They're either weak, like that guy, like weak kind of pussies, or like overly emotional, like kind of man children who just like, oh, yeah, they're like emotionally abusive and stuff. So basically, it's like, it's a science fiction show. I'm going to pause it just so I don't get claimed. It's a science fiction show set, I don't know, like way far in the future. And they're orbiting this planet, and then something happens to the ship, something with like their, whatever, and they all have to eject, and then they end up on this planet like disconnected, and they're all going to try to get the hell off. And this is a crazy planet. And the art, I think, is really cool. It kind of reminds me of like Miyazaki-ish. Like that guy Miyazaki, like Studio Ghibli. Because it's like really unique and interesting, like wildlife and like a whole new wildlife biome. And like it's really beautiful and fascinating. But I just couldn't, without, the male characters were just so disappointing. They were so like weak and uninteresting, and the women aren't, and I know like maybe it's petty to be like, but I was just like, damn it, man, like I want to enjoy this, but you just can't show us a modicum of respect. It's hard for me to stick around, Give me a hero, for Christ's sake. Give me someone I want to watch. Listless receptionist, cute alien. Yeah, not till you see what this alien does. It's actually really creepy. So that alien has like this big bulbous dome, and it can kind of like psychologically manipulate you, and it like you think you're somewhere else, like with like a loved one, and then it like vomits this black ooze into your mouth, and then you become like its slave. It's kind of cool. Vex loves this show. I wanted to love it. I watched about half the season. I just kept feeling like demoralized by the fact that all the male characters were so bad and weren't growing. They almost seemed to be getting worse. And that's just what I mean. Like, just that kind of like just detached apathy that I have for just the landscape of media in general. I almost want to just, take my ball and go home. Just watch movies from the 80s and 90s, play video games. Like, I just don't want to play ball. And that's a bummer. It's a bummer, What do you... Oh, they love... Gucci loved it. Was it positive? I tuned out after the sperm aliens rocked up. That's funny. I didn't love it either. Sex. I didn't hate it either. I just like... Just apathy. Just more apathy. And I don't like that. I almost kind of miss the days of like watching something that was, made me mad. You know what I mean? Where at least like Censorship says, I love the art style. I'm a Mobius fanboy. So, oh, that's right. You are. Yeah. Hey, check it out. Maybe you like it. Maybe you'll find it really interesting because the art style is cool. I think it looks great. And like I said, the conceptualization of the world they build is really something else. It's just the characters are just not... It feels biased, It feels slanted against the male characters, and not like in a way that is even kind of compelling. And it's like, if they all died and it was just guys or girls trying to get off the planet, okay, it's one thing. But you included these men, and they're weak characters, and I don't like it. And it's like, it just starts to feel cruel. It starts to feel very like negative towards men in general. It's hard to separate that when you're watching it. Just like, this feels personal. Like, I didn't do anything to you. I don't even know you, lady. Represent men like men, please. Thank you. Cotton, goddamn mouse. I watched an old Eastwood Western that was labeled as a comedy. Which one? Which one did you watch? I've watched a few recently. I watched Pale Rider, and I watched Hang 'em High, Unforgiven. Good movies, dude. Good movies. It was a cool look, but I didn't like any character. That's what I mean. I didn't connect with anyone in the show at all. Like I was vaguely intrigued with like the black girl and the robot that was like slowly getting kind of like the organic matter and changing it. I thought that was like vaguely compelling, but I didn't like her. I just thought the story was compelling because she seemed kind of cold and cruel. I didn't really like her. And then there was like the man and woman dynamic And the guy, like, he just was always emotional and angry, or just like, it just was he was never in control. She was kind of like, "Oh, this world's so fascinating." He's like, "We gotta go." It just, I didn't connect with anyone at all, and that's just, he lost me. Like, it's cool art. I wanted to like it. It came recommended from a friend. I really wanted to love it, but I just like, can you give me a character to latch onto, please? Glinzer. Agenda-driven media has some viewers dread an agenda-laden story and thus go back to older stuff. Yeah. And then I think at the end, also, I can only speak for myself on this one. I think, like, I'm less forgiving of it too, right? And other times where maybe I'd kind of just like roll my eyes, like, like I never loved in The Expanse when Bobby was the strongest Martian. I'm like, I don't care where you grew up. I don't care what changes in the next 200 years. Without chemical enhancements, women are never going to be the strongest. She's the strongest Marine. Really? Come on. She wasn't even particularly ripped. And then she, like, arm wrestles like a mech. Like a mech that can, like, tear through metal and throw things. And you see what those things can do. And she arm wrestles and wins it. I'm like, oh, my God. But that was before. That was in the before times, So I was like, all right, roll my eyes through this and move on. And then it was like, and whatever. That's just like one cringe scene, and the rest of the show is fucking brilliant. But now if I saw that, I might turn it off. Be like, oh God, enough of this stuff. We're over it, man. We are over it. It's called Two Mules for Sister Sarah, Eastwood and Shirley MacLaine. Yeah, I heard about that one. I wanted to watch all his westerns. That's one of the ones on the list. It wasn't that funny, huh? I don't know why they were calling it a comedy. I mean, comedies don't age well. There's very few that age well. Like, I still enjoy, like, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Caddyshack, Slapshot, a few classics, Animal House. But for the most part, comedies age like milk. I was even watching, like, Knocked Up the other night, and I was like, this sucks. I thought I liked this movie. I was like, this is lame. Just not compelled by it, Just, like, over it. Mech wasn't powered, though. All right. I mean, that's a fair point. Still, it was framed as she's the only one who can do this, She's the strongest. And then like also Amos is in this show, Like Amos is jacked as fuck. So it's hard to be like, oh, because they're all like, she's doing it again. Like a bunch of men, like, oh, she, the strongest of all of us is doing it. It's corny. They could have totally left that out, but, Tropic Thunder. Okay, sure. Tropic Thunder. Yeah. The Landman is pretty good so far. It has boobs. I like boobs. Boobs are great. I saw, what's that? Cheery X, what's that girl's name? I saw her boobs today. I can't think of her name. She's like one of those singers, the brat girl. Oh, yeah. Right. I heard that's pretty good. That's Taylor Sheridan, right? I'm a little not into Taylor Sheridan right now. I haven't watched Tulsa King season 2. Anyone check that out? Reviews, thoughts, feelings? But the whole Yellowstone Kevin Costner thing, I'm really not a fan of. I really don't like how they handled that character. It felt petty, felt shitty. It's kind of what the whole show was built around. They just kind of betrayed it. What seems for like a personal feud. It's very classless. So I'm a little not into Taylor Sheridan right now. I still haven't watced Mayor of Kingstown 2, season 2. I don't know. I like the movie. I'm a sucker for Eastwood movies, but it was just a Western. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those movies are. Hang 'em High was really just a Western with the craziest third act in movie history. And I don't mean crazy, like that was crazy fun, like insane. You're like, what the hell is happening? What's going on? But yeah, I mean, a lot of them are. A lot of them are just Westerns, Pale Rider's kind of just a Western, but I guess it's a little bit different because he's supposed to be like a ghost, like a literal ghost, which is kind of cool. Slightly different. Listless. I get what you were saying, though. You can have unlikable characters, no problem, but they have to be compelling. Yeah. Yeah, or like I think unlikable characters like have to develop into likable characters or change or grow or something. You know, I was thinking about this. I watched The Mummy the other night. Awesome. Still awesome. So much fun. Pure camp. The best. But man, Benny, that guy is just there to be beaten up. He has no redeeming characteristics whatsoever. He's just a slimy little dirtbag from the moment you meet him to the very end. He's just there for like O'Connell to just beat up. You know, he really doesn't grow. He doesn't change. He doesn't ever have a noble moment. He's literally just a slime bucket the whole movie. That's all he is the entire time. It's hilarious. Landman is Taylor Sheridan. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I feel like a little hesitant to get there, you know? I don't know. I'd buy it if they could cast someone that looked like the book version. That bitch was 7 feet tall and jacked. Yeah, no, I look, I understand that. I know that. I'm not like being like, she didn't look jacked. It's just like, okay, she's 7 foot tall and jacked in the book. I know. But wouldn't also men be tall and jacked in that same universe? Why? What happened on Mars that women are now the strongest of the whole planet? Like I don't remember them talking about anything genetic manipulation. I know what you're saying. I mean, I hear it. I forgive that type of stuff. Like, you know, everyone in the belt is supposed to be tall and skinny. Not everyone they hire can be tall and skinny. You just kind of forgive stuff like that. But it's like, but there'd still be jacked dudes. And the dudes that are like her Marine cohorts, even though they picked kind of like feminine black men, those dudes are still pretty jacked up. It's just, I don't like that. I just don't like when she's the strongest one. It's like, in what universe? You know, that's never going to be the thing. It's like, you know, there's definitely chicks who are like stronger than me. You know, they exist for sure. But I'm not like the apex strength guy. They're never going to be, the strongest person on the planet is never going to be a chick. She's never going to be. So it's just kind of annoying to me. Like I said, I don't care. Bone Tomahawk was a Western that got dark. I imagine you're saying that got dark and crazy out of nowhere. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought it was a good concept. I thought the second act really dragged. I was like, just kind of, let's go, get to it. And then it was over so abruptly in the end. They're just like, all right, we're going to go in there. We got him. Let's go. Movie over. Whoa. Okay. That was a weird third act. You know, cool scene. Obviously, the guy getting fucking chopped down the middle. Vicious. Holy shit. Violent. But I kind of feel like that guy does that just for the sake of doing it, you know? Which I don't really necessarily have a problem with, but I just don't necessarily like it either. Like, what was that other one? Dragged Across Concrete? I didn't really care for that. I didn't like it. It had been built up so much by, like, Culture Casino and Mad Mardigan. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. It was like, it's okay. It was, like, fine. But there's that scene where that girl gets her hand blown off, like, and you see it, and it's just like, what was the point of that? Why do you have to do that to her? Like, why did I have to see that? What was the point of that? She wasn't like a major character in the story. It was like a weird choice. But look, enjoy it. I don't hate it. It's fine. I was expecting more from those movies the way people talked about them. Deadpool Wolverine is all over YouTube for free. Watched it the other day. Not bad. Oh. Yeah, I could see enjoying it. I bet I would. I like the Deadpool movies. I think they're really fun. Even though they're stupid. Like, I think they're great, you know? I disagree, but that's just me. I'm not into redemption arcs, but you have to enjoy not liking them. Well, characters should change. I mean, like, scenes have to have conflict and change. Like that, you know, or like, it's like if they don't change, you know, it's a tragedy or whatever. But just make it compelling, man. Please, you know, just make it compelling. For real, still cringe boss bitch crap. That's what it felt like. But it was so minimal. It was like, whatever, just trying to establish her as a badass. I like Bobby as a character. I like her in the show. I like her in the books. I'm a fan. Like I said, it's just, times were different back then. You know, it was just kind of like, ugh, all right, more of this girl gay shit. And then, you know, whatever, keep watching and it doesn't come back, and that's fine. You know? The Furiosa movie was cool. I heard that was cool. I didn't watch that. I heard that was good. I didn't really have any interest, but I heard that was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like in movies when they shoot the person, but then like when they cut away, you hear the guys going, oh, so they're okay. That's how I feel. And in fact, if you could not shoot, that even better. Honestly, if it could just really all just be diplomacy, that's my ideal movie, Just violence with pens. Not with violence. Yeah, Drummer's my favorite character by a fucking mile. She rules. She's so great. And she is a tiny boss bitch. But she's like a justified boss bitch, right? Like she's her character, her point of view, the writing of her is so valid. Like she's not there to be better than the guys. Like she's just a great character. She's a great woman. I love her. Cara G, marry me. Marry me, Cara G. I mean, I know you're already married and you live in Canada, but I would marry you tomorrow. Women aren't stronger than men. They are emotionally. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. Fucking censorship, dude. Censorship by the government. I wouldn't normally recommend this particular broadcaster. He doesn't really need me to recommend him. He's not the type of guy who needs anyone to build him up because he is the biggest podcaster in the world. However, I cannot recommend... Wait, where is it? I cannot recommend... Is this it? Where did it go? Oh, this guy. Okay. I cannot... Oh, my God. I'm on the wrong YouTube account. I have ads. Ads. No way. Hello, Dream Architect. What is cracking? Welcome, yo. I cannot recommend... why is this... Oh, my God. Okay. I cannot recommend enough this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, okay? Like I said, I wouldn't normally recommend Joe Rogan. There's really no reason for me to recommend Joe Rogan. Obviously, he's a huge podcaster. But... exactly, bro. Bigging him up. So I don't really watch a lot of what Rogan does. I like Rogan. I check him out now and again. I watched the most recent Protect Our Parks, which is super fun. Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, Ari Shaffir, Joe Rogan, all getting shit-faced and having a party. I'm here for that. That's awesome. But the other ones, Joe gets a little chatty. He kind of yaks a lot in the ways where you're like, shut the fuck up, Joe. Let your guests speak. I want to get to know them. I know who you are. I want to hear about them. It gets a little, he's getting old. Took a lot of blows to the head. Not the most entertaining guy. Still love him. Still respect the hell out of him. Still think we fucking need him. He's the man. But this episode with this guy I'd never heard about. The only reason I watched it today was because Elon Musk quote tweeted it on Twitter or whatever. He just was good. This episode is fantastic. I am definitely going to finish the rest of this episode when I get off the air here. This guy is, I guess he used to work for the State Department or something like that. He worked on the inside of government. Man, this motherfucker, he lays out exactly how the censorship state exists, how it began, why it's so ubiquitous, who's actually doing it, and it is some compelling, source-cited, fascinating, and kind of horrifying podcasting information. But I do want to what I wanted to say was this, and I thought this was especially because of YouTube, and I feel like I was listening to a stream with Razorfist the other day, and he was saying about how Elon should buy YouTube, and everyone says Elon should buy YouTube, but he's just because this is a frontier of free speech is this platform, and I agree with him on that, and it is very highly regulated. You'll see, any friggin' post or video stream, anything that talks about the election, it's got Donald Trump won the election. It's just what is this misinformation thing you need to do? There is so much in this video explaining exactly why. And it goes a little something like this. So, and it has a lot to do with Ukraine, funnily enough. So the United States, obviously notorious for nation building, back in like the Obama administration, took on this sort of policy of like, basically, if they wanted to take over a nation, they wanted to, invade or regime change or whatever dumb shit the CIA thought they needed to do, one of the things they would do would be to take over their social media kind of sphere and influence it, right? Censor who they didn't want to hear speak, kind of have like the right point of view in that ecosphere so that they could kind of promote, whatever leader they wanted. And that was kind of how things were for a while. They had used all this outer stuff. Well, once Donald Trump got elected in 2016, if you remember, all that misinformation stuff started to skyrocket. Well, they took that same apparatus that was used to basically censor, foreign governments and their social medias. That's when they turned it on us. And that's the world we live in currently. That's why, you say certain words on YouTube, your stream gets flagged, demonetized or fucking algorithm smushed. Why you get those little things, those little banners under, a stream or a video when you talk about COVID or the January 6th or whatever. It's literally, and it's not, what I didn't understand quite clearly before I watched this video was how, like, orchestrated it is. Like, it's not like there's some people in government who like want to, this is like their agenda. This is like their personal thing. This is like a network of really highly funded, powerful NGOs and all these different government organizations that are, either affiliated or not affiliated directly with the American government that are actively, that's their job. That's their function, is to get rid of misinformation. And we all know this. We've known this for a long time, but it is in black and white. Like this is real. It's not like a ghost we feel we could point the finger at. No, this guy lays out the hard proof of exactly where it comes, where it comes from, what it is, why it exists, where it exists, what organizations, to what end. It is the most important, Rogan. It's up there with like when we first met Jordan Peterson, right? When we're like in the thick of all this propaganda and trying to make sense of it. And this guy comes out of nowhere and starts telling, the postmodernist Marxists, the troll demons. Which I don't know, man. Maybe you guys think Peterson's a joke or whatever. But for me, at that time, big deal. Big deal. Peterson, Brett Weinstein, even Ben Shapiro for a little bit. Very short period of time. But this feels right up there with that. Even more piercing because it's like talking about like the state apparatus that like actively exists to censor, and not just in this country, by the way, not just the United States of America, globally, influencing the policies of all these different nations and stuff to censor, to stop the misinformation. Absolutely fascinating and 100% worth your time. This guy, Mike Benz, who I didn't know who he was before, very good speaker, very good at talking for a long time, uninterrupted, salient thoughts, able to organize them, able to list off all these crazy, 3-letter name agencies and all this information, data, points, dates, all this stuff. And Joe just lets him go, which I don't know if you watched Rogan recently. It's not really his thing as much. He just lets him go. It's great. Like, it's really, really great. And I can't recommend it enough. And I think it's actually really important for us to understand this type of thing. If you're curious, obviously, whatever, do whatever you want with your own time. But I think it's pretty fascinating. Let me see here. All right, what do we got going on in the chat? Glinzer, I often hear misinformation, especially from Trump haters, but I never see any specific examples given. Yeah, well, it's anything that goes against the narrative and the agenda, really. It's like if you challenge these things. Like this guy was talking about the COVID stuff and how they had they already had the social media apparatus in play immediately before there was even the rise of misinformation. Like they knew how they were going to handle it from the jump. And it was orchestrated by, the CIA. It's fascinating, man. It's just so disturbing, but so insightful and so good to know. Seriously, you don't give a fuck? All right, fine. That's fine. Do you think Elon should build a particle accelerator? What if he... Okay, maybe, right? But what if he builds a particle accelerator, right? Opens up another black hole, and then we go back to the other timeline, and we don't get to have Trump as president? I don't know how I feel about that. But maybe Star Wars won't be gay in that timeline. I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe Harambe is still alive? It's a risk. It might be a better timeline. It might be a worse timeline. I don't know. But maybe we'll get the Shazam movie. That could be cool. I don't know how I feel about going the other timeline, but I'm curious, but what if we can't take it back? What if we can't take it back? What was the name of that space colony show? Silo? Oh! What is Scavenger's Reign? I think it's called Scavenger's Reign. Let me make sure that's correct. I believe that is accurate. Yeah, Scavenger's Reign. And rain is in reign of power, not rain that comes from the sky. Lord of the Ranks. Misinformation is apparently opinions or facts we disagree with. That's actually literally what it is. It's not even like we're being cheeky when we say that. It's like that's exactly what their definition of misinformation is. It's 100%. Like this guy talks about how they want to stop these like autocratic governments, right? It's like their, noble world building agenda. Thanks a lot, guys. You're doing so great at it. What was I saying? Shit. Oh, right. So they want to stop these autocratic governments, but they also notice these autocratic governments have like uncontested, speech spheres. Like no one challenges shit in China. So they're like, how do we become autocratic without anyone knowing it so we don't become hypocritical by stopping down autocratic countries? And they figured it out. They got really good at it. Pretty good. That's not a bad JP, Matt. Check out my sketch, buddy. Check out my sketch where I do a JP. You're the only one who said I did it well, and I appreciate that. I thought it was passable. I don't know if it was good necessarily, but I thought it was passable. And that's, you know what? I think that's just fine. I'll put it in the chat. Here we go. I still think it's funny. I still think the concept of this sketch is funny. And maybe you don't, but I would disagree. All right, I put it in the chat there for you, Big Ship. Check it out, doggy. Pretty sure the Bush administration was in the nation building a lot. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not. Hey, relax, Libby. Okay, calm down, fucking Lefty Lou over there. I'm not pointing fingers at your precious Obama. All right. No, it was in the Obama administration when that came up. I wouldn't listen to JP about anything postmodernism related. You sound like my buddy Michael. He's the same way. He's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, dude. Don't listen to him. He's an idiot. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, all right. I don't agree. But I've never read those commie rags, so I wouldn't really know. But the things that he does talk about, I'm like, that reflects the world that I see around me, so I feel like he's onto something. But he would often talk about how vehemently he misunderstands and misquotes these, Foucault and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't know. Who cares? We got to stop the vagenda. Yeah, exactly. Matt, we need to discuss your understanding of astrophysics. Why? What's wrong with my understanding of astrophysics? What did I even say that had anything to do with astrophysics? I want to know. Timeline when Epstein didn't kill himself. It's funny, yeah. If you can't figure out how to think about anything critically, it doesn't matter what the info is. That's a great point, actually. And I think like more and more, I feel like I want to check more sources. I feel like I need to stop just accepting that if it's someone that I trust says that, I should just accept it. I think I really need to look more into like, what is the source of that? And let me go read that source and kind of like take a look for myself. I think that's I think that's smart for everybody. He's not an idiot. Who's not an idiot? Are you talking about JP? Clinical psychologist. He knows a few things. Yeah, no, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he probably suffers from like maybe like what James Lindsay suffers from. Yeah, okay, it is JP. Okay, from like just because you're really smart in one field doesn't mean you're super smart in these other fields, and maybe like the Dunning-Kruger thing, like maybe this isn't your thing to talk about, but like I don't know, I that kind of like always with that grandiose, like the scale of like the things JP talks about, I get a little tired of it. I don't know. Just Some Guy had some thoughts recently when JP talked about Lord of the Rings. Didn't that guy have like a total spurging meltdown about conservatives? Yeah, that's what I remember. Just Some Guy was just a tool. Checking sources more too. That's smart. All right. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you on that. I do recommend checking out this podcast. I swear to God, I think it's fascinating. Although, you know what? I didn't check any of his sources, so it could be all bullshit. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, I think it was worth your time. I think it's worth your time. I thought it was really interesting and lots of good stuff. But if not, whatever, man. Go outside and pick daffodils. Who cares? Appreciate you guys watching this show with me. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jake D, for your membership support there. Eric K for your super chats. Fuck yeah, baby. Love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys all watching. Don't forget, this is on X. Go follow me on X. Follow me on Instagram, Rumble. Give me a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify or something. Or, whatever. Just hang out with me. Appreciate you guys. I will see you all next week on the MFer Podcast. I appreciate you guys. Matt, premise was solid, but impression way better now than it was then. Oh. Well, thanks, Big Ship. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. You guys have a great night. Peace. Later.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!